No parades, no national tributes. COVID-19 is really changing the way that we honor our fallen heroes. The long-standing tradition of placing flags at Arlington National Cemetery was actually scaled back significantly. The observances may look different this year, but they are still taking place. So let's talk to National Commander Bill Oxford of the American Legion. He joins us this morning to talk about it. Good morning. Thank you for being with us.
Well, good morning. Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity.
Absolutely. So President Trump will participate in a wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery, but it is closed to the public. All other services are going to take place online. Explain to us how things are going to be very different this year, but at the same time, we can still honor those who served.
Well, when we think about the restrictions set up by the CDC, by state and local officials, we do have a responsibility to follow those rules. And the isolationism, the self quarantines, those kind of separationisms, they're essential to the state of the society that we're in today. The pandemic that we're facing, it is a national emergency, and we're absolutely in favor of following those rules and regulations and suggestions.
I got to tell you, growing up, my father was post commander at the local American Legion. I know it well, spent a lot of time there. And a lot of it was about camaraderie, getting together, talking about what you have been through, what you have survived, and the lessons learned. It's very special to members there. For veterans all across the country, it's kind of hard to do that on a day like this because we're all isolated, as you talked about. So are these virtual ceremonies just going to be enough? Is there some other way to reach out?
Well, there is, and you mentioned the brotherhood, the comradeship, the camaraderie that is associated with being a veteran, and that's special. And if you are a veteran, you understand what that means. But a lot of society doesn't realize what that camaraderie, what that relationship means. But as we face these issues of separationism, isolationism, veterans. They typically understand the need to follow those rules and regulations. But that's the discipline, that's the organization that a veteran is, and what we've been taught and trained to do over many years. But we still are facing those rules and regulations. We do try to maintain, and this is the American Legion philosophy. We try to maintain contact with our post members, and there's lots of different ways to do it. We use all of the social media with Twitter, tweets, virtual meetings, live streaming, blogs. All of those things make it possible, and with the social media aspect, there is a lot of ways to do that, and we continue to emphasize that personal contact and maintaining that contact with our veterans.
That's really important because American Legion has over 2 million members, 12,000 posts across the country. As we know very well, a lot of the older population is being hit hard by the coronavirus. I know that New York has launched a program called Vet Check, which checks in with veterans. Is the American Legion supporting other organizations, other programs like this to get us all through this pandemic?
Well, Vet Check is a New York thing, but the American Legion has a program called Buddy Checks. And if you remember back to the World Wars, there was a term called Battle Buddies. And the American Legion developed a program called Buddy Checks, and it's basically the same. We use Legionnaires to contact other Legionnaires, and it's just a way to check in and says, hey, how are you doing? Is there anything you need? Is there anything we can do? Is there anything we can do to make your life better or easier? And it's surprising the things we've been able to find out. As we make those calls and contact with other veterans, our Buddy Check program is we've been able to find veterans who needed groceries, so we can make a trip to the grocery store for them. We find veterans that might need a prescription, so we've had Legionnaires pick up prescriptions from drugstores. We've had Legionnaires go to a veteran's home and move the garbage cans from the street back to the home. And as we make that contact, it's a way just to let those restricted and shut-in veterans know, hey, we're here, we still care, we're still wanting to do anything we can to help.
Yep, and you don't know if you don't ask. Thank you so much, not only for your service, but what you're doing for veterans today. We appreciate you joining us.
Certainly my privilege and pleasure.